Right, RhythmicBiker, hi. UncleRed, well, yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, we're going to do a joint vlog today, huzzah, mainly because Merry Christmas, Happy New Year and all that. Yeah, I wish I could be more motivational about this, but you know, Christmas, who likes Christmas?
It's the most wonderful time of the year, Red. The song says it.
So they say. Last time I listened to people talking about what's good and what's not, they said Star Wars is great.
I hate you.
Oh, it's the best way I can piss him off, just say Star Wars is bad. Alright, we have some bad weather, apparently. There are a few patches of blue in the sky, I think. Now I'm looking over towards Aylesbury, there might be some rain coming, but we'll do what we can with the time that we have. Right, so we're going to take a nice chilled ride. Like I say, hopefully the weather holds up. I do actually think that's rain on the horizon, but that's fine. It's fine, we'll work with it. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. I mean, we're out now. It's one of those, isn't it? Once you found the motivation to get out, you're that's it now. You're stuck.
Yeah, we're saying that it's actually a very mild winter we're having thus far. So good stuff, good times. Visor down and let's go. So it's been a bloody interesting year. It's been a wonderful one for a lot of reasons, mainly because we found a lovely dealership that allows us to ride their bikes without any quips, any worries or anything like that, which is a stark contrast to what I've experienced before in the past, trying to get a couple of test rides and you get the sales pitch before you ride the bike. It's like, okay, but I don't know if I like the bike before I ride it now, do I?
Just because I'm there doesn't mean I want to buy it.
Precisely, yeah. And then you got a call, didn't you, from some lovely people?
I did, yes. So the lovely people at the Triumph dealership, where we rode the I can't remember what you took out when I took out the Bonneville.
So I took out the Tiger 900 Pro, I think it was.
You did, yes. You took out the Tiger, the new Tiger. So yeah, the lovely people at that dealership gave me a call yesterday. I unfortunately missed the call. However, maybe not so unfortunate once I heard the voicemail. And a very polite gentleman just telling me that the demo Bonneville that I test rode is now up for sale, and that apparently I'm interested in it. That couldn't be further from the truth, could it really?
So you're going to buy it?
Do I want it? Let me think about that.
I can't imagine anything in your video that will tell us that you don't want it, so what did you...
No, I think my video was just, I think it was just pure 14-15 minutes of me saying how great it was and how much I love it.
Oh yeah, there's no sarcasm there, is there?
No, none at all. The Sprint's going in for Part X tomorrow.
That's it. And for you know, any of those wondering as well, I did make a video on the Tiger, but unfortunately I won't be releasing that because when I was actually on it, I was doing everything as normal like I do, babbling on about absolutely anything I can. Lovely bike, but the console the entire time kept on yelling at me that the rear indicators were not working, which is exactly what you want when you only notice that 15 minutes into the ride.
Yeah, it's a shame really, because like you say, you actually thought the Tiger was quite a good bike. Yeah, just a bit of a shame the console wasn't working.
So it is a massive shame because it was my second venture into adventure bikes. And I did like it a lot and I enjoyed the ride. It was lovely, smooth. I keep saying smooth in a lot of those videos. That's one thing I need to change. Use different words, Red. But yeah, a lovely time. It's just unfortunately it didn't work out because of the console screaming at me about the warnings, that sort of stuff. And I just thought, yeah, I can't willingly release a video if something's not right with the bike, basically. Well, if something's blatantly not right with the bike, put it that way.
Yeah, I think that's only fair. I think if you ever get into doing these reviews, I think you have to give a fair review of the whole thing. The bike has to be in full working order, otherwise you're always going to have your mindset's going to be altered because of it. Like you said, you can ride the bike fully capably, and you were riding it safely, but it's always in your mind that something isn't quite right. So
yeah, and there are some very eagle-eyed viewers out there as well. I say eagle-eyed, it wasn't bloody hard to notice, but yeah, when you test ride a bike, you're more focused on what you're doing on the bike as opposed to what the dash is trying to tell you, unless you are that sort of person, in which case, kudos. I guess I should have checked the bike over before I took it out. Anyway, what else did we test ride? So yeah, if we was to knock them off, I don't even remember what we test rode first. So we had the Harley Experience Day where we took out the... Oh, what did we take out first? I had the Fat Bob.
You had the Fat Bob and I had the Street Glide, was it?
And you bloody loved that glide, didn't you? You bloody loved it.
I'll tell you what, I would glide right into the dealership and buy one of those. Yeah, they are beautiful machines. The word you said you always use the word smooth. I always use the word planted. I need to really address that in some of my future content. But it was absolutely planted. I just loved how big, mean it was, but you could still absolutely throw it round the corners as if it was a sport bike.
Yeah, it just kept asking for more.
It really did. There was no limit to it. I was trying my best to find it, but no, the bike has I mean, it's way above my skill level, and I'd love to see someone who is really confident and really experienced on one of those.
Oh, you should have seen me on the tail of the Dragon, mate. I was in there, I was like, whee, throw it round there, whee. You couldn't pay me to ride that better, whee.
Yeah, doing that with your right hand and a Bud Light in your left.
That's it. Yeah, it was a lovely bike, and genuinely, I really can't sing praises enough for that. Harley have done an amazing job on that, which is quite the compliment, actually.
Definitely, especially for me. I don't think it's any secret anymore that at some point I will own a cruiser.
We've changed him, lads. We've changed him. He's gonna get a cruiser. One of us.
No, it's definitely going to happen. And when I'm now test riding, especially the Harleys, who obviously are famous for it, you do have to think, right, well, what am I going to go for? And that is now that's a very strong contender. It's very strong. It would take some beating.
A quick bit of advice I can give you before you invest: make sure you read the manual and you have a lot of tools, because if there's any work that needs to be done on that bike, it's definitely worth doing it yourself if it's the smaller stuff.
This is it. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Once you Harleys have obviously, especially this year's range and this year's all their models, they've come a long way, and we've spoken in previous videos about Harley potentially changing their image, and the bikes as well. The bikes have come a long way, and they're now, for a broader range of people. But it's still a Harley Davidson. It still comes with that expectation, it still comes with that reputation, and it also still comes with expensive repair bills if something goes wrong. So
that it does. And the world suffering over the last couple of years hasn't been very good at that as well, because we've noticed, myself especially, having to take Jelly Bean for services, the labour charge has skyrocketed. So if there's any small tasks, definitely get the tools out and learn how to do some quick repairs yourself.
God, I wonder how much the hourly rate at a Harley dealer is.
Oh geez, at Kawasaki it's I think it's 95.
So at Harley we can easily add we can easily add 50, I think. Maybe,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it would be too silly to think that. But I don't know. I don't know. I won't say it for sure, because yeah, I have to do some research and see what it is.
That's That's our assumption. Whether that's a safe assumption or not, we'll find out, won't we? So, skipping the next Harley one, we have to bring it back a little bit to the Zero electric motorcycles which we rode, because they were. We understand there's a lot of you know, electric motorcycles. They're not real bikes. But still fine, sure, whatever. We had a lot of fun on them, and that's sort of where I come to the conclusion of. I'd say they're really nice for a commuter. What you got? Really nice bike. They're really nice for commuters, but at the same time, it's definitely not a bike I would consider riding out on the weekend for a pop around. If I was to, for example, come out here with you and like make a video or something like that, it's definitely something where it's just like, where do I need to go to? Point A, point B, go there, come back, job done.
Yeah, it's a bike for convenience, not for everything else, which is surprising considering in both of our videos we said how fun the bike was to ride, and we were making it out as if it was to be a weekend toy, but really when you actually get down to the nitty gritty and the you know, the specifications, you can't argue that the bike really would just be for commuting effectively.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, it is a very fun bike to take out. It has a lot of power, being electric. The lack of clutching gears was quite something to get used to, but it just had everything on tap. You want to go faster, just, you know, give it a blip and you're suddenly going up 10-20 miles an hour.
So easy. It was effortless. It was very effortless to ride.
Yeah, very fun, very effortless. So from the Zero, which was, I think the best way we can sum it up is fun, if a bit weird.
Yeah, fun with practicality.
Yeah, that's it. To the rather expensive but much more luxurious Harley Livewire. And I remember saying in my video at the time, like, I genuinely feel like I could ride that bike one-handed for the most part, and I worry because we've seen, at least I've seen, enough people on the electric scooters with their mobile phone in their hand, because, you know, people are just glued to their gadgets these days. I worry that because of how easy that Livewire is and how responsive it is to the user, that we're going to start seeing a lot more riders with crap in their hands which shouldn't belong there.
This is it. I do think it. The problem is, like we've said, we could ride that bike one-handed. Similar to the Zero, I thought it was a lot of fun, but I do think it is a bike that encourages bad habits. It definitely doesn't keep you riding like you would on your test. Let's put it that way. No chance.
And the thing is, with having a clutch and gears, this is kind of why I don't like the idea of automatic bikes as well. I want control over the mechanics of the bike. I want to decide when I want to change gear and when I don't. And the problem is, when you have that taken away from you, you notice it very quickly, and there's almost like there's part of the experience missing. It's the same as, like, for me mechanically, it's the same as a lot of people with the audio receptiveness. You jump onto an electric bike and there's almost no sound there. You just get that little whirring from the electric motor as it gives you the grunt to pull away. But it's like I say, it's a weird experience, but that Livewire, although it is ridiculously expensive, hopefully as the future continues to shove electricity in our face, we'll see some improvements, and we'll see some advances in technology. And as unfortunate as it is going to be the future unless we find some sort of sustainable fuel that we can burn and still keep these lovely sounds as we like them. Because I hate the idea of the majority of traffic being on the road which is just silent. I can't stand the idea of, like, it's bad enough now with the Priuses, you know. I have a hate relationship with those things, but yeah, electric cars are more dominant on the roads now. Well, they're becoming more dominant.
I think as well, because I definitely, I mean, with the cars especially, probably even more so than the bike, because as a pedestrian, as a child playing on your local street, you're probably more likely to be hit by a car than you are a motorbike.
Yeah, it's because the biker's going to be looking at what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. The biker's not going to be on their mobile phone. Yeah, I think these Priuses, these Teslas, all of them, I think they all need to be making some noise. Not ridiculous, like nothing like a Skyline or anything like that. It doesn't have to be roaring. It just has to be noise, common noise from that you'd expect from a car, a car to make.
I mean, it'd be a bit weird if a car overtakes you at 50 miles an hour and all it's doing is just screaming, "Oh yeah!" So, prove me wrong, internet, prove me wrong. I've seen some memes and oh boy, I'm looking forward to it. So from the electric bikes that we've rode then, on to the next one, we took out the Pan Americas.
Oh, we did.
The lovely adventure bikes. And again, like from my perspective, I've always looked at adventure bikes and just thought they're too high. I don't like them. There's all this kit on them. Do you need it? Are you ever going to take that thing off road? So on and so forth. And you know, some adventure bikes are really designed to be taken off road, some are not. I don't know if I would take the Pan America off the road simply because of its size. However, as a road bike, that was magnificent. And it's one thing, so I'll just quickly butt in with this, it's one thing as a cruiser rider, and comfort is always king with me, to jump onto an adventure bike of that sort of size, stature, and just be in absolute heaven. My arse was just completely comfortable, the riding position was fantastic, and the adaptive suspension as well, which raises you up as you ride and slow down, it sits you back down towards the floor again. I love that little feature. So yeah, props to Harley. From a cruiser brand, they've really done well with not only the electric but also on their adventure bike as well. Big old surprise there.
Without a doubt. And to be honest, when it comes to the Pan America, I don't really have a lot to say, simply because...
Was it not good enough for you?
No, completely the opposite. I honestly, I went into it with a very negative bias. I thought it's a Harley adventure bike, it's not going to be great, it's going to be their attempt, it's going to be the first attempt at maybe a failed project. I thought this will be a bike that maybe lasts 2 years and then will be discontinued, but it was an incredible experience. It was, and this is, you know, I've rode other adventure bikes, I've rode multiple GS's, which are widely considered to be the best adventure bike by many, and honestly, I had just as much fun, if not more, from that Pan America. That engine, oh, I'm never going to get over it. To have that in a bike of that size and stature is just incredible. It doesn't need it, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun with it.
It's like 150 horsepower, brake horsepower?
150 brake horsepower, absolutely phenomenal.
Speaking of that engine as well, so we then come on to the Sportster S, which was more around the 120 horsepower, wasn't it?
121, yes, I think. I think it's 121. This is where someone quotes me wrong.
Yeah, that's it. It's angry commenters like, "Oh, you got the stats of this bike wrong. Ha 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 ha."
Rhythmic doesn't know what he's talking about.
Don't talk about Harleys, you twat. You know. Blimey. Alright, aggressive. Right, let me just figure out where we're going from here. So, yeah, follow the road route, that's fine. Yes, we had, I won't say a great time on the Sportster S's.
No, not at all.
As the video, I think, has been released already when you guys see this. There was a time where I pulled up beside Rhythmic and just asked him flat out, like, if you got the chance to ride this, let's go this way. Sorry. I recognise this road and I recognise this part, so I know our way from here. Fantastic. Yeah, I remember pulling up by the side of you and just asking you flat out, like, would you take this bike out on the country jaunt or something like that? And you just looked at me and I could almost see the disappointment through your visor. with the sun visor down, just like, you just looked at me and said no. It's like, wow, okay.
I don't need to think about it.
Yeah, that's not to say too much negativity about the bike, because it is very rewarding as you throw it out the corners and you really accelerate, you give it some. The bike excels in just making you brick yourself. The acceleration is fantastic. The only problem is, and it's the main problem, like I say, comfort is king. I can't justify taking it out for a short ride because it's uncomfortable. I can't take it out for a long ride because it's uncomfortable, and also because the fuel range on it isn't going to be sufficient enough. That tank is small, I would say, for a bike of that size, and the engine is very thirsty. And as a bike, that's something where you're going to want to completely smash the throttle around some good bits. I don't think that bike's designed for people who want to have like a leisurely cruise. Prove me wrong, by all means.
It's not your traditional Harley.
That's it. But you know, they've done a good job on it. It's just, I think if they had an extra couple of inches on the suspension front and back, that could be a much more softer ride, and that could definitely, like, I don't want to have to deflate the tyres, A, because that's dangerous, and B, you know, for the sake of saving my back, we can't justify taking that bike out again. Even if I might eat my words here, even if Harley approached us and said, hey, do you want to take these Sportster S's around Tenerife for a week, all expenses paid, I might just decline. You know, I'd love a holiday for a week in Tenerife on a bike, but the Sportster S, prove to me that those roads are silky smooth, and there's not a single bump in sight, and maybe, but yeah, that was not an enjoyable ride, but a good experience.
Yeah, a good experience. I'll quickly throw in there, Harley Davidson, you do have our Instagram, so if that ever is an offer, you know how to contact us.
It's time to sell out, everyone! Yay!
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add. I think it is very important that I think both me and Red are of the agreement that it's not a bad motorcycle by any stretch. It is a well-built bike. It is a very unique Harley. I mentioned in my video it will appeal to a lot of people, and it does have the potential to get a lot of people who would have never considered a Harley to buy a Harley, to get on a Harley, which is fantastic for the brand, which we want to see. But in terms of my overall feelings and conclusion thoughts on it, it just wasn't worth the hype. It wasn't. I've read so many reviews about this bike saying how incredible it is, and yeah, the engine is phenomenal, the cornering is great. I've mentioned to Red many times, and he overheard me and Jay having a conversation about the height of some riders, myself included. The bike is not designed for that. So I would say if you're over 6 foot, don't bother. You just won't be comfortable. You'll be regretting it, and you'll wish you bought a street glide or something.
I say that it could do with an extra bit of comfort in the suspension. I'm thinking like you need a much shorter Pan America, but a much taller Sportster S. Are we clear behind? Yes, we are. At least what we can see. Beautiful. Right. Let us tally on fourth. A few stones there, so mind yourself.
I'll tell you what, it would help if I put the bike in first.
That would definitely help, wouldn't it? That would be...
I took my foot off the ground and I started accelerating, and the bike only rolled gingerly forward, and I was like, I've got no power. What an idiot.
Beautiful, Ben. Alright, so after we test rode a bunch of Harleys, we then decided we'll go and test ride another Harley or two. So along with the Sportster S ride, we also switched for a street glide. I keep saying the wrong glide, but no, it was the Sport Glide. God, I even...
No, yeah, you did it there, you said the wrong one, and then you sounded so confident.
Bloody hell, my brain. Alright, so we took out the Sport Glide. The Sport Glide is what we took out. The Sport Glide, everyone, the Sport Glide was great. It wasn't a Street Glide, it was the Sport Glide. Hopefully, if I say Street Glide and not realise, I need you to tell me, and I will feel like an absolute twat.
It was funny because when you just did it then, and you then went on your rant about how I always say Street Glide, I was like, should I tell him?
Wait for it, he'll realise in a moment. That's it. Right, so the Sport Glide, fantastic bike. I would explain in a very quick terms that it is a stripped back Street Glide. However, it does have some rather unique changes. I believe the frame is different, which doesn't really feel like it, but after so many years of being off a Street Glide and missing the opportunity to test ride the Street Glide, it was nice to take out the Sport Glide. And yeah, just get a feel for like the similarity of that wonderful experience in the US. And I keep mentioning the US, and honestly, if you've got the time and the money, then bloody do it, especially if you've got a lovely friend like Cockney to take you out and take you on a lovely little tour. Still, thank you very much for that, sir. Yeah, it's Sport Glide, nice and pokey where it matters. The controls are the thing. I mean, you rode the newer Street Glide versus the newer Sport Glide, so what are your thoughts, difference between the two? Because I've got like that 2.5 year gap.
So for me, the Street Glide was an excellent bike, and it's no secret, I absolutely loved it. It was, and I'm going to say the word again, it was very planted, but it didn't make me want to. It was a very sensible bike. It didn't make me want to hoon it about. No chance. I wanted to ride that bike, and I wanted to ride it. I wanted to cruise. I really wanted to cruise, take in the scenery, and just enjoy being on the Street Glide. The Sport Glide was a totally different story. That was, I could only describe it as I felt like I was in Sons of Anarchy. I honestly, I felt like such a badass. I really did, because it's a lot lighter, obviously, without all the storage, but it is just so much fun. And when you can open up that engine, when you really get to the grunt of it, it's a fantastic bike. It really is.
So we can talk about these bikes, but obviously if you are in a position to take any of these things out for yourself, by all means do so. They are a lot of fun. Obviously mind out for some dealerships, because they will give you the whole hard sell thing before you've even jumped on the bike, and that's what's really put me off doing it in the first place. I've had a few bad experiences. Nothing too much, it's just they clearly want you to buy the bike without any regard to whether you like it or not, which is understandable, but at the same time, could you not? Now, we both had the opportunity to take out something rather special, and I kind of shot myself in the foot with this, because Rhythmic here got to ride the beautiful Rocket Free, and he's also got all these lovely camera angles of me getting the footage of him sneaking up on me and going past and such, which is great. I didn't get that footage of me on the bike because I'm a bit silly, so I forgot, or in our hurry to get out, because it was getting dark at that point, I didn't put a camera on the Rhythmic's bike to get those same camera shots of me. And then it got really dark and the traffic was horrible. It was just a really miserable ride. The bike performed really well in heavy traffic in Watford, but I said to the guys when we got back eventually, I need to take this bike out for a second time, which is the video which you have or are going to see.
Oh, excited.
Oh, exciting, yeah. So yeah, all things considered, the Rocket Free was an absolute monster of a motorcycle, but in a lot of regards, Triumph have done an amazing job of making that bike, like, we're talking a really heavy, really bulky muscle bike, muscle cruiser, stonks of torque, like just can pull for days, can absolutely rip your hands off the handlebars like it did for my video, This mad lad behind me put it in sport mode, because why not? I didn't get the chance to because I forgot. Whoops. But we both had a whale of a time on that motorcycle. We both agree it's outstanding, but for the size and the damn shape of the thing, everything that is ridiculous number-wise about it, it is so bloody easy to ride. I can't sing praises enough for the work that Triumph's done on that, because it's very much the same experience I had with the Sport Glide when I first jumped on that in America. I'm coming off a bike of this size to something which is effectively like 3 times, 2 at least, as big, as heavy, power. It was pure like intimidation factor at first, but that first hour on that bike was absolute bliss, and after that it was so easy to get my hands around, my head around, and just enjoy the damn thing and enjoy the ride because of it. Now with the Rocket 3, it's very much the same sort of story. You know, if you are in the market for forking out 21.5 grand, I think it is, for the touring version, the cruiser version, then yeah, if you want to put your faith into a motorcycle, that could be an interesting thing. But when we went to that Royston bike meet, there were so many Triumph Rocket 3s, so many of them, and I think this is a testament to what Triumph's really been able to pull off of that bike. It's not just a popular bike, it's a really good bike, and it's really good in so many different ways. If you want to sport it up, you can absolutely do that, minus the seat position, of course, because there is very little difference between the 2 versions of the Rocket 3. It's a slightly different like foot position, maybe seating position, but it's not going to be full attack mode like a Ducati, Panigale or sport bike, whatever. But at the same time, yeah, if you want that bike to go fast, then it will go fast. If you want it to cruise, it will cruise. So much, like I can't sing praises enough for it. It's magnificent.
I'm exactly the same. I said in one of the best bits I think I said in my video was, this is an absolute masterclass, a beautiful piece of engineering first and a motorcycle second. How they've made it all work together, I don't know. I really appreciate it. I feel, I said it again, I said it in the video, I feel honoured to have been able to ride that bike. I feel honoured to have been given the chance to take it out and see if it really was what people said it was, or if it was just a gimmick bike, because that's what we feared. We had a bit of worries that it could be just a gimmick bike, you know, like, and I'm not meaning to brand shame here, but a bit like a lot of Nortons. I find a lot of Nortons to just be gimmicks, and then when you actually put them on the track or put them on the road, they're never as good as what they proclaim to be. But the Rocket 3 just wasn't like that at all. The only thing I could struggle to conclude for the Rocket 3 was who buys it. I don't think I would commute on it. I probably would tour on it, but I don't know. I think for touring there's always going to be an argument for another bike, but yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know who buys it.
Obviously with the Vulcan S here, the saddlebags, they stick out a little bit because they don't belong. Is he on his phone?
Yeah, he was. I was recording him. I was looking dead at him.
I was say, because here I am talking away, and I saw you wave at him, or I saw you do something. I thought, like, has our light gone green? It's still red. What's going on? Oh, here we go. Hey! Don't set lights on your phone, people. That's a bad thing.
Don't be an idiot.
Alright, and our final talking point, I do believe, was our lovely trip to the Peak District, which is an absolute marvel of British scenery. I thoroughly encourage anyone in the UK, if you are itching to go out somewhere, like go for a ride for a week's holiday, or even if you're trying to like plan a holiday abroad, don't bother, just go to the Peak District. It's stunning out there, absolutely stunning.
Ah, gorgeous. Let's not underplay it. No, it's incredible, isn't it? We see all these motorcycle holidays advertised all around the world, Canada, Czech Republic, etc, etc, Germany. And don't get me wrong, these places are beautiful, but definitely see what's in your own backyard. Like the Peak District, not too far away, depending on obviously where you live, but for us it was a nice duration. It was a nice journey up there once we gotten past the M1 past Northampton.
Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? Bloody hell.
Oh, that was horrible. It wasn't great because we obviously had the panniers on. It was a nightmare. But
bank holiday weekend, M1 traffic. Oh yeah, it's going to take us, what was it, more than an hour to get what should have been 15 minutes up the road? Yeah, more than an hour to get from Newport Pagnell past Northampton. An absolute joke. Just to clarify, me and Red never said that we were intelligent. We just said it's a good idea to go up to the Peak District. Yeah, how you get there is entirely up to yourself, but yeah, avoid the bank holiday,
definitely avoid the bank holiday. If you're going to go up there, I don't know if you're the same, but I would advise staying up there for a bit. We were there for a total of 3 days, was it 3 days? Yeah, and we stayed in a lovely caravan with a lovely owner who really looked after us.
Yeah, she was outstanding. Well, saying that, she just left us to do what we wanted to do, and you know, as long as you're not an absolute arsehole, that's the best kind of person you want to be renting a short holiday person stay. Words. Yeah, you want to be renting from someone who just leaves you alone, which is great. It's a shame that we didn't meet her in person, but at the same time, here's the instructions, here's what you need, go for it.
And it was a lovely caravan. The heaters were phenomenal. You'd never expect it from a little tiny sort of camper home. You'd think it would be a bit chilly, but no, it was beautiful.
Planning our own holiday as well, so I think your missus, her only criteria is she wanted to find a waterfall, which we did. That was fun.
Yeah, she almost killed herself in the process.
Slogging ourselves up and down these bloody rocks alongside a stream, no clear path, just good luck, have fun, in full motorcycle gear, coming back as the sun's coming down, you know, practically dark when we got to the bikes. Never again, mind you, never again, but it was fun. It was an experience, like the Sportster S.
You're only young once.
That's it. We also, well, I say we, I organised a Vulcan S meetup while I was there, while we were there. Bloody hell, words, sentences, construction, yes, I can do. Everyone that turned up for the Vulcan S meet, once again, thank you, you were phenomenal. Everyone just rode really well. I think we had one older chap who rode quite slowly, but aside from that, the pack didn't really get split up. It was just a simple ride out, lots of challenging corners and a beautiful bit of scenery to go with it. And yeah, like I say, we've never had a bad experience with a Vulcan S meetup, but simply because of where the Peak District is and what you've got around you, it's absolutely stunning, absolutely phenomenal ride out that was. And so much so that we want to go back out there and do it all over again, hopefully with more bikes this time. But regardless, that was absolutely stunning, and once again, thank you for everyone who showed up and made that such a bloody great little ride out.
No, as an outsider, yeah, I've said it in multiple videos with the Vulcan S group. Now, just thank you for including me. Thank you for keeping me involved, despite owning a rival manufactured bike, I suppose. And yeah, in terms of that Peak District ride, that was glorious. The route was phenomenal. So well done to you, Red, for planning that. It was absolutely stonking. Some lovely bends, which I enjoyed even with a pillion. Yeah, so absolutely great. And yeah, everyone rode really respectively. And yeah, they're just a nice bunch of lads, aren't they? Lads and lasses, nice group.
That's it, yeah. Everyone's out just to have a lovely ride, a lovely time, have a sip of tea and coffee on the way as well. Lovely places we stopped at, and overall, just a phenomenal experience and a lovely trip to sort of like finish the year off. Really, that was sort of our last hurrah for summer.
Yeah, because the weather hasn't been great since.
So, yeah, unfortunately our destination is closed, but that's fine because we're still here. We're still riding. I'm completely lost as to what to say, really. Just gotta go around in circles.
Are we just gonna, is this like a square off, is it?
That's it, yeah, just way. So yeah, we've had a fantastic ride out. Unfortunately, our destination is closed, but oh well, never mind. We can try and find a cafe nearby or something, see if there's a place we can get a spot of tea, as British people do. Ah ha ha ha. And yeah, I think we'll just finish off the video. Park up here. Lovely, sorted. I'm just going to scoot around the front end of the bike and say thank you very much for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I do hope it's a good one. Thank you very much for your support over the year and years. We both do really appreciate it, and hopefully many more videos to come. Hopefully much more to see.
Here's to 2022.
Be optimistic, won't you, Red? Way. But yeah, thanks again, everyone, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Don't. Just. I have to. That's when it fades out the black. Don't.